when you do lay down on the sound lounge, what's happening in the body? I kind of talked about what's happening in the brain and the mind and the nervous system, but like what's actually happening in the body? Well, first of all, we're shaking every cell in your body physically. You feel it. Every single person that gets off the meditation cushion, the sound lounge, the massage table, anybody that gets off our relaxation furniture has an experience. It's not like doing PEMF or sitting in meditation where you're quiet by yourself. Like, oh, that was really nice and peaceful. No, no, no. Every single cell in your body is shaking. This increases circulation. This increases the detox and opens up detox pathways that might be sitting dormant. Your lymphatic system is one that is driven by gravity. And if you're sitting at a desk all day, not jumping up and down, not even walking, not doing anything, your lymph is stagnant. And that means your cells are not releasing their toxic load. Shaking every cell in your body while you're laying down or sitting up, it has profound impact on your physical body. Like we literally move every single cell. We shake out trauma, we shake out emotions, we shake out all sorts of different things can come up for you in your perception of what's happening during your session, or it might just be nice and relaxing as well.
Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hope Pedraza, and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome. Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. Today I have on the show Craig Goldberg. He is a relaxation expert and technologist on a quest to help humanity achieve a deeper sense of inner calmness through the use of sound and vibration technology. He is a Vibro-Acoustic Therapy Practitioner, and his work is backed by 40 plus years of research showing the many benefits of this type of therapy based on technical acoustics and vibrational technology. He is also a patented inventor and constantly exploring new ways to use sound and vibration to help people reduce stress and anxiety, to heal, to transform their lives for the better. He is passionate about his work and really truly believes in its ability to provide a path toward a more peaceful and fulfilling life. And we are talking all about vibro-acoustic therapy, what that means, what it is, what it means for him to be a vibro-acoustic therapy practitioner, and really the science. You know, I like to get nerdy about the science behind stuff. So we're going to talk about the science behind sound vibration as medicine, how this helps with the brain and healing and all of these things. That really is such a cool conversation, and maybe something you want to add to your wellness practices that you've never tried before. We're going to talk about this technology, how you can use it to help just live a more calm, I want to say stress-free, but less stress life, and just really his mission is just a more peaceful and fulfilling life. And I'm really excited to introduce you to this new type of technology. So let's jump in. All right, y'all, let's jump in. I'm here with Craig, and I'm super excited to nerd out on some new things today. And Craig is here for it. So thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm ready. Let's dive deep.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we're talking about vibrational acoustic technology and all these things, but I want to start first. If you can just give us a little insight into your background and what got you into vibro-acoustic technology, which people right now are probably like, what the heck is that? So we're going to get to that, but I want to hear kind of what led you down this path.
So I think I'm a pretty normal human, like as far as like humans go. I grew up in New York. I've got a great family. I grew up in Long Island. I went to college in Manhattan, lived in Manhattan for 10 years, and then eventually made my way out west. And then I think at some point when I was living out west, I realized just how stressful and anxiety ridden my life in New York was. It was fantastic. It was amazing. It was great. But I was drinking alcohol 7 days a week and smoking weed and, just doing all the things that I think most Americans do to cope with this really stressful society that we've co-created. Even as I sit at my desk today, I am just back from 2 weeks of vacation. I own a company, so I don't have a corporate role. It's not like I have PTO or paid time off, right? Like when you own a business, you work when you have to work, which is pretty much all the time. Mm-hmm. And my business partner's great, and we have balance, and I have family, and I got all the things. So, but here I am coming back from 2 weeks of vacation where I literally put off all the stuff. Like nothing's more important than me right now, and the bills, the invoices, the emails, the personal stuff I got to do. And what I just came back to, because I think it's relative to this question, is this is my mail. Like, updated registration from the DMV and the cars and
Yeah.
The life and the society that we have co-created, it's busy. There's
Hmm.
just a lot that you have to do. I'm an upstanding human being and citizen of the United States. And the mail just keeps coming, right? Like I'm blessed. I have two RVs. They each need registration. My wife's car needs registration. Then I pick up a nail and I got a flat tire. And so even if you're just living life, I have this level of anxiety of the things that I need to get done
Hmm.
to just stay at like baseline,
Hmm.
right? That's before you even get into the fact that In Harmony has been growing exponentially, the fact that my wife got laid off in November and right, like all the other things that it just happens, right?
Hmm.
So I share all of that with this question because this life and this society that we have co-created, this culture that we have co-created, you're welcome and thank you at the same time, is one that is really the undertone of it for me is stress and anxiety because I'm constantly thinking about all the things I could and should be doing and know
Hmm.
all the things I want to be doing, like spending time with my daughter, spending time with my wife, laughing and having a good time. And I just got back from 7 days where I said no to the inboxes and the to-dos and the tasks. And I dropped in with family and I prioritized that and it felt amazing. And then right around Tuesday night, when Wednesday was my first day back, today's Thursday, we're recording this, like all of a sudden my mind started thinking about like, oh man,
Hmm.
that's right. I started moving from an LLC and right, like my Inc. in California, I'm closing down and I'm opening an LLC in Nevada and I bank accounts. And
Hmm.
so it's like looking for answers in all of that. I found vibro-acoustic therapy, which is a really big word, vibro, vibration, acoustic sound, sound and vibration therapy as a way for me to calm and relax my nervous system, for me to ease into the day, for me to reset from sympathetic, stressed and anxiety, stressed and anxious to parasympathetic, calm and relaxed, or rest and digest. And I have found many tools, not just vibroacoustic therapy, to help me to relax. And what I've unpacked, and we can get into the details of how I got there, teaching and training on the efficacy of essential oils, finding natural products, eliminating toxic load. There's a lot of stuff that we can unpack and talk about, but sound and vibration for me took me to my happy place.
Hmm.
It took me to a place where I can be calm and relaxed, cool, calm, and like the Fonz. And if you're old enough for that reference,
You get
but
it.
right, because when I'm cool, calm, and collected, no matter what I'm pointing outside, no matter what the world throws at me, I can handle it.
Hmm.
But if I'm stressed and anxious and I'm feeling spread thin and I've got like, I feel like I'm getting kicked in the, over and over again, like, then it's just this downward spiral. So I look at vibroacoustic therapy and really my role as somebody who gets to evangelize and talk about this incredible experience. Yes, it's a technology. Yes, we have a media company, but really it's about taking time for yourself, 22 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, to get my mind, body, and spirit back into a relaxed state. And then I can charge forward and I can take anything you want to throw at me.
Hmm.
Pick up a nail, I get a flat tire, the check engine light comes on again, the registration's expired, whatever. Traffic on my way, insert stressful situation here. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I got this. This is easy.
Hmm.
Let's just work
Hmm.
our way through the process and let's knock it all out. So I share that to say, like, I think I'm a pretty normal guy. And I think in this society that we've co-created, we all need opportunities to relax more. And even as somebody's listening to this now, they're probably like, oh my God, I'm relaxation. That sounds amazing. Like, I don't even know what that's like. And this helps to create that space for us to do that. And something I really want to talk about its importance and really get into the technical aspects of it because it's really profound the impact that sound and vibration has on the body. And I've really, in my research over the last 10 years, of a certified Vibro-Acoustic Therapy Practitioner, which is a mouthful. It basically means that I've studied the impact of sound and vibration on our nervous system, on our physiology, on our physical body. And it's really profound when you start to unlock the power and harness the power of that to improve your life day to day.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to know, you kind of alluded to it, but I would love to know how you found that specifically, because there's a lot of ways you can get into this mindfulness state, right? There's a lot of tools and strategies and methodologies and everything. So I'd love to know what drew you, like, how did you find this and drew you into this specific method?
Yeah. I laid down in front of a sound therapist.
Hmm.
Um, So I was about 10 years ago, 12 years ago at this point, my wife got sick. The modern medicine didn't have any answers for us. We ran biopsies and tried to figure out what was going on. In the end, it wound up being gluten. I discovered exactly at that point, really what was happening in the nervous system and how we interact with food and diet, nutrition, and that sort of thing. And we cleaned up our act. We got rid of gluten. We got rid of dairy. We went vegan for 3 years, local, organic, whole food, plant-based, the whole nine. And in doing that research, we discovered just how toxic the world around us is. And we discovered essential oils, and we started to travel actually and teach people on the efficacy of essential oils and how to work and how to use them. And we were teaching and speaking at these yoga retreats and conferences, and there were sound therapists there. And I didn't know what a sound bath was, but somebody I was really close to was like, "Hey, come with me. We're going to the sound bath." And I was like, "Cool. What's that?" You're like, lay down on a yoga mat, and these amazing human beings play these incredible acoustic instruments all around you. A gong, a didgeridoo, drums, bells, chimes, right? All crystal bowls. And I didn't know what was happening. I just knew that the first gong that I heard, I fell asleep, and I woke up 45 minutes, an hour and a half later, and I felt fantastic. I felt like somebody had like wrung out my body and all the stress and anxiety was gone. And I felt fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on doing that for a long time while we were traveling, a year, 2 years, whatever it was. And I would literally go to my hotel, I would unpack, and I would go to the sound bath when there was one available at the conference, trade show, or retreat, wherever I was. And then I started buying my own instruments. And I'm an audiophile, which basically means that I like high quality audio, whether it's car stereo, home stereo, whatever it is. I've been involved in speakers and stereo receivers, that sort of thing. It's just been a hobby of mine for years. And I wanted that experience on tap. I didn't want to sit there and have to play a bowl and have to stay focused on that bowl. I wanted to fall asleep, and it's very hard to play a bowl while you're sleeping. So I wanted just a digital product. So I bought a gong CD and I started cranking it on my home stereo system, and I was using the wrong technology. Fast forward a few months later, I meet my now business partner, Dominic, and he introduced me to what is Vibro-Acoustic Therapy. What is vibration therapy? What is the wrong technology that I was using is I needed to be using a tactile transducer, which is fancy word for half of a speaker. This is basically a big driver. There's a magnet in here. You connect it via audio. And this is what, when pressed against your body, vibrates back and forth, vibrating your body at the same frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And it became this immersive, incredible, beautiful experience.
That's so cool.
And that was 7.5 years ago when we started Holistic Health Science and then transitioned in Harmony Interactive. And here we are.
Wow, that's so cool. It's like when they hit the tuning fork and they like put the tuning fork on your head or your heart shock, whatever, and you feel it. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love
Biofield
that.
tuning is amazing.
Yes.
And I'm a huge fan of it. Look, it's all part of the same body of research
Mm-hmm.
that governs specific frequencies and its impact on our physiology. And to get into more of kind of the problem, we are big antennas.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies are constantly picking up on sound and frequency all around. You can't hear the 528 hertz chimes that I have out front, but it's really windy here in Vegas today and they're blowing. And my body is constantly coming into harmonic resonance, even with that vibration and that sound, even through the wall. So we are very sensitive to sound and vibration. We are constantly coming into and out of what's called harmonic resonance with frequencies that we're presented to. And it's easy when you're at a nightclub or you're sitting in your car or you're laying on a sound lounge and you are being bombarded with that frequency. What a lot of people don't realize is that just sitting on your iPad, working in your kitchen and hearing the compressor from your refrigerator that comes on, that's humming at a 60 hertz frequency, because here in the United States, electricity has a 60 hertz hum to it and frequency to it. And 60 hertz, as we can start to talk about, is bringing us out of balance with where we need to be closer to 10 hertz. 7.83 hertz is the Schumann resonance, if you've ever spoken about that on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's really closer to where we want to be. Those target being in balance with the environment and your mind, body, and spirit. You're really targeting a 10 hertz frequency, which is the frequency that large bodies of water, oceans, lakes, streams, forests, desert landscapes, getting out into nature, why that feels so good is because most of the earth resonates at a 10 hertz frequency. And when you're in nature, your body starts to resonate in harmonic resonance with that frequency, and you come down to a 10 hertz frequency. Very calm, very relaxed. Whereas 60 hertz is very amplified. And look, even now, as I sit in my wonderful home, protected from the rain and the elements outside, I never counted. I just moved into a new house 8 months ago or 5 months ago. There's probably 15 wall sockets in my office. They're like everywhere.
Yeah.
There's 4, 8, 16, right? Like they're like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And behind the walls is electricity humming at 60 hertz. I'm surrounded and I'm in a cacophony of that frequency. Whether I recognize it or not, my body does.
Right.
So we need to take time to come back into harmonic resonance with the natural frequencies of the earth. I wear an Apple Watch. I use the AirPods. There's a lot of conversation around that. And at the same time, I also use a set of headphones that have air tubes, if
Mm.
you're familiar with these. So I believe there's a time and a place, and that technology gives us a lot of convenience. And obviously, I own a technology company that uses low-level audio signals and electrical signals. So there's obviously EMFs there too. But what you're being exposed to is what I want to kind of bring some attention to,
Mm-hmm.
and how long you're being exposed to it as well, I think it plays a big factor.
Right. So when we're looking at what you were talking about, how getting back into rhythm with that, the residents, and it's funny because I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was talking about like forest bathing and like getting in and talking about that and getting with the frequency of the earth. But so when we're talking about like getting back into the, in line with the frequency of the earth and all that, how does this vibroacoustic, all this stuff, how does that help? Like, what are the benefits of that? And how does that bring you back to that more in resonance with, the natural frequency?
Yeah. So look, our body being that antenna is constantly, when we come into harmonic, when we're presented with a frequency, the body matches that frequency. We know this. You've got a friend that vibes high and is awesome and amazing, and whenever you're around them, you just feel amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you've got another friend that's depressed and going through it, and you want to be there for them, and then you step into their house and you're like, man, it's energy is just dense in here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sluggish and I don't feel so good, but I'm going to stay here for an hour and I'm going to spend some time. Then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go tend to my own garden. We know that. And that's with people. If you walk into a concert or a nightclub or a bar or a restaurant and they're not playing your music, whatever that is, you're like, I'm not really feeling it here.
Yeah.
It's loud, so loud. And then somebody else that like loves that music is like, it's not loud enough. This place is awesome. What do you mean you want to go? Like, it's just not where you're at right then and there. I don't believe there are any bad frequencies. Really don't. I just believe there are frequencies that are disharmonious with where you're at right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we need to be cognizant of the fact that the frequencies we're presented with, we then come into and join. We match that frequency. Or you could choose not to, and that's more difficult. But generally speaking, if you want to be in the flow, then your body is going to come into that resonance. So our technology, tactile transducers, in Harmony Media, the media company, the music meditations that we create are all designed to project onto your body a harmonious frequency to bring you into balance, to target solfeggio frequencies, to target 7.83 hertz, the Schumann resonance, which is an electromagnetic field, not an audio signal, and there's some science there too. But when you're laying down on the sound lounge, when you're sitting on the meditation cushion, laying on the practitioner, the massage table, or even just streaming our app and listening to it through the phone speakers or through a Bluetooth speaker or through headphones, your body is coming into harmonic resonance with those frequencies. So the benefits. If you're just listening to the music, your brain begins to slow down and your brain begins to entrain to the frequency and the pace of our music. It's called brainwave entrainment. And when your eyes are open and you're a beta brainwave, that's measured between 14 to 40 hertz, 12, 14, up to about 40 hertz. Gamma is measured 40 hertz and above. Alpha is measured 12, 14 hertz down to about 8. Theta is measured 8 hertz down to about 4. And delta is 4 hertz down to about a half a hertz. And your brain is constantly coming into, and we could test this using an EEG, an echoencephalograph. It's like a swim cap with a bunch of different nodes on it. And it's testing how fast the synapses are firing in different parts of your brain. So we can see how fast those electrical signals are firing. And if they're firing within a delta, alpha, theta, delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, we can see that. So when you're just listening to the music, our music is designed to entrain your brain into an alpha, theta, delta, or gamma brainwave state, or even beta in some cases. And you come into harmonic resonance with that soothing, calming, relaxing sound. When you upgrade that experience and you're laying down on our Sound Lounge 2 or Practitioner 2 or massage table, now all of a sudden the tactile transducers that are projecting the same frequencies that are coming through your ears are now being picked up by the mechanoreceptors in your skin.
Mm.
And this is where you amplify the intensity even further
Mm-hmm.
because we're used to hearing sound through our ears, through the cochlea, and signals that are being sent to our brain through the auditory nerve. When the same frequencies are being felt and interpreted by the pressure sensors in our skin, from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes to the top of your head, the change in pressure, what we interpret as touch or feeling,
Mm-hmm.
is actually a mechanoreceptor that is sending a signal to the brain that says this part of the body is changing pressure. And when that bass or that low end frequency is being pressed against every mechanoreceptor in the skin, it's all pulsating at the same frequency. It's a little overwhelming to the brain. The brain feels and interprets this as it is immersed and bathing in sound, like that forest bathing that you were just talking about, which I love that term. It's super hippie and I'm a super hippie. So, right? Like now all of a sudden your brain, which is sitting in a black hole, processing electrical signals, is now all of a sudden getting this overwhelming presence of the same frequency that it's hearing. Keep in mind, we have a part of the brain called the reticular activator system. And it basically works as a filter. Your subconscious mind is perceiving about 4 billion. I've heard these numbers ranging anywhere from 1 million to 4 billion. 4 billion is the study that I read most recently. 4 billion inputs per second is what your brain is processing. Most powerful
That's
supercomputer
crazy.
on the planet. Insane.
Yeah.
Your conscious mind can handle 4 bits of information per second. So the reticular activator system is protecting you from whatever 3,900,000,000.
It's like the spam filter.
Okay? It's exactly like a spam filter. Okay. But when you lay down on the sound lounge and all of a sudden now you are hearing the same frequencies that you're feeling and you're wearing an eye mask, so you're taking away sight, you're taking away taste and smell for the most part, unless you're using essential oils and food, and there's room for that too. But you are now just feeling and hearing frequency. And now all of a sudden that comes to the forefront. It's like sitting in a restaurant that's really busy. It's got a lot of people around it and a lot going on. And all of a sudden you hear hope. Like, what? Somebody just said my name. And all of a sudden you key into that, right? Like you didn't hear that conversation beforehand. It was filtered out. Same with this situation. Now all of a sudden every single frequency is being interpreted. I'm sorry, every single mechanoreceptor is interpreting the same frequency. And very quickly, you come into harmonic resonance with that frequency, with that experience. And very quickly, you start to feel the results in a very magical way.
That is, I love the science. I love the nerdy stuff. I told you I wanted to nerd out. And so I'm fascinated by all of this. What do you find? Because I know, and y'all can go to his website, which I mean, we'll tell you that, but there's a lot of like research and stuff, which I always appreciate, the research up front and the science behind all the things, on the chance that people think it's woo or weird or whatever, which I'm all about the woo.
I
So
love the science. I
I do
love the
too.
woo. I love the science, and I love
Same.
merging it because we're learning more and more.
Exactly. Yes, I mean, that's my world. It's like anything at the intersection of science and woo, I'm like all about it. But what do you find are just based on, testimonials and stuff and people you've talked to, what do you find are some of the biggest benefits that people are, or maybe you have some crazy stories about people healing from things. Like, what do you find are the biggest benefits?
Yeah. So let me, and there's one piece that I left off to the benefits in the last question. And that is when you do lay down on the sound lounge, what's happening in the body? Like I kind of talked about what's happening in the brain and the mind and the nervous system, but like what's actually happening in the body? Well, first of all, we're shaking every cell in your body physically. You feel it. Every single person that gets off the meditation cushion, the sound lounge, the massage table, anybody that gets off our relaxation furniture has an experience. It's not like doing PEMF or sitting in meditation where you're quiet by yourself. Like, oh, that was really nice and peaceful. No. Every single cell in your body is shaking. This increases circulation. This increases the detox and opens up detox pathways that might be sitting dormant. Your lymphatic system is one that is driven by gravity. And if you're sitting at a desk all day, not jumping up and down, not even walking, not doing anything, your lymph is stagnant. And that means your body is not, your cells are not releasing their toxic load, to go back to the beginning of how I kind of started this whole thing. So shaking every cell in your body while you're laying down or sitting up, it has profound impact on your physical body. Like we literally move every single cell. We shake out trauma, we shake out emotions, we shake out all sorts of different things can come up for you in your perception of what's happening during your session, or it might just be nice and relaxing as well. We're also sending a message to every muscle in the body, telling it to relax. This is really important This is probably one of the most powerful aspects of what we do, specifically with the Sound Lounge and our bigger technology, because the brain is telling muscles to tense up and tighten based on whatever you're thinking about. The brain is telling your nervous system, hey, I'm tense, I'm tight, I'm stressed. And when you lay down on the Sound Lounge and you push play and you start to feel, you feel these layers of relaxation coming over you, where your body gets heavier and heavier. And you've felt this before. And you just further and further and further into the Sound Lounge you fall, and you can actually feel the layers of relaxation coming over you.
Mm-hmm.
And when this happens, you go deeper and deeper and deeper into a relaxed state, and you perceive it and you feel it happening. I call it relaxing from the outside in instead of the inside out. So it's not something the mind or the brain needs to control or even think about.
Mm-hmm.
The only instruction when you get on our Sound Lounge or our meditation cushion, the only instruction is to lose yourself in the music.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. You're not supposed to be doing something or not supposed to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Just a guy or a gal laying on a bed, listening to music. Try
I
not to
love
overthink
that.
it.
I love that. I feel like it's such a good way, such a good tool for people who, like you mentioned trauma, and so it kind of like triggered something in my brain. It's such a good way for people to get into their bodies, especially people maybe who have experienced, whether it's big T or little T trauma, but they're all up in their head and they haven't been able to process it because they haven't been able to get into their body. I feel like this would be a great tool for that.
Look, big T, little T, trauma is trauma.
Totally.
I went on to tell you that I had a great childhood, and I did. I love my parents. I learned more in the last 2 weeks about my childhood and my upbringing, and my parents for that matter. My dad just turned 75,
Mhm.
just got a great report back from his doctor
That's
on
awesome.
some challenges that he's going
Mhm.
through. And about a year and a half ago, I was really digging into my history and my childhood. And I asked I know what people are going to perceive when they hear me say this, but my parents ran a almost $20 million clothing company, manufacturing company when I was a kid. And I heard the number. I asked my dad, like specifically when we got into business in the 90s, what was the height? And he said,
Mhm.
oh, we were doing about 18 million. And that was in like 1992. I'm 44.
Wow. That's
Okay.
insane. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said to my dad, I was like, so we were millionaires? And he goes, oh yeah, we had, yeah, me and your grandfather, we had
Uh-huh.
millions of dollars in the bank at one point.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I had no idea. Now, I had a great childhood. Okay. I had my own woes. I had my own issues. I had run-ins with the law, and I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
But like, I started working full time when I was 14. I bought my first car. It's a different time today, no doubt, but I had no idea. Like I didn't have chauffeurs and there were no Ubers back then.
Right.
Like
Right.
we
You didn't live
yeah,
the
we
life
went
of
on.
a millionaire like you would
At
think.
least I didn't, not as
Right.
I perceived
Right.
it to be,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Like what
Yes.
I would think I would do if I had $1 million
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a pretty drama-free life. And yet when I do my own regression, when I do my own processing, and I hope my parents are listening to this because I love you, they kind of fucked me up.
uh,
Right? Like I kind of messed myself up. Like I don't think any of us get to the big T little T conversation. I know we're going on time, but like people call these meat suits. Like we are spiritual bodies having a human experience, and I
mm-hmm.
agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I call these suffer suits
Mm.
because this thing, whatever you want to call it, this life is riddled with that stress and anxiety, and you can
Mm-hmm.
either suffer through it or you can decide I'm not going to suffer and you can do something about it.
Right.
And I think what doesn't kill you does indeed make you stronger. And whoever's listening to us right now, you're not dead. So you're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner we figure that out and identify that,
Right.
the more powerful and the less victim and the more engaged of a creator that we're going to be.
Right.
And to your point, our technology, I'm getting emotional even as I'm thinking of the things that I want to say. Our technology creates a space to empower you as an individual to take responsibility in your world, to look
Mm-hmm.
back on the struggle, the strife, the trauma, to recognize that you are alive and well and on your way to thriving and surviving if that's where it's going to go, but you're doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
you can create a space to reframe your past, to charge forward into your future and be present in this moment all at the same time. And it's a really powerful mechanism for going inward with all of the distraction, with all of the different frequencies that the body is constantly coming in and out of and being bombarded with. We very rarely take time to just sit and be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Totally.
this creates a fun way for you to do that, where you're not just sitting because you're listening to music and you're feeling music and it feels good. And I think that's the other part. It feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it gives you an opportunity to go within, to sit with yourself in a controlled environment with a specific intention to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to love yourself, to be kind to yourself, to not be so hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really remarkable and quite magical. You asked for some anecdotal stories. It's probably what most people tell me more often than not is they didn't realize exactly what they needed was exactly what they got.
Mm.
And that as soon as they laid down and the music came on, the emotion started to come, or they started to reflect on a particular situation. Or I hear quite a bit, people send me text messages on a regular that are like, thanks, Craig, I found myself through your technology.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I mean, if you it I love that because I think just I mean, A, some people are afraid to sit in the silence because they're afraid of what's going to come up. But B, I think that when, like you're saying, that people, what they got is what they needed. I think it's when, like you were talking earlier about the, parasympathetic and sympathetic, when you're able to finally go into that state where your body is out of the fight or flight and it's like your body can kind of take an exhale, then it feels safe to let the things that need to come up come up. So it's like your body is going to show you what needs to come up to be released if you give it that safe space for it to do that.
Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday of this week, I finished 2 weeks of being out of the office with a workshop,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so clean and so open. And Monday was a really emotional day for me. I wept on several occasions. And then I came home and I told my wife about the experience I had at the workshop, and I wept in her arms for another hour. Bless her beautiful heart for holding space for me in such a beautiful way. It's not until we really, that's that layers of relaxation that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And people get off the sound lounge all the time and they're like, and I tell people, like, you deserve to feel what it feels like to relax.
Mm-hmm.
So many of us are walking around in fight or flight all day, every day,
Yep.
day after
Yep.
day, week after week, month
Yep.
after month, since
Yep.
they can remember. I
Yep.
literally had, I came back from, I was not really feeling well, and I got an IV. I'm a big fan of Myers cocktails and getting IVs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I sit down to get an IV on Monday, and I'm talking to the gal who I've been going to for years. I know her for a really long time, and she literally said, telling her about my business and what I do, and we're dropped in, and I said I teach people how to relax, and I teach people how to shed stress and anxiety. She goes, "Oh, I live on stress and anxiety." I go, "Don't say that.
Oh man.
Don't say that."
Mm-hmm.
And because your words are powerful, and we really need to understand what it feels like to truly relax. We really need to be in that relaxed state. We are meant to spend more time in parasympathetic than we are in sympathetic.
Right.
Sympathetic is a short-term reactionary state of being, nervous system response that is designed to get us out of danger
Right.
and protect the body.
Yeah.
And when you're walking around in fight or flight without getting into the details, increased adrenaline and cortisol are flowing through your body, which is just tormenting and tearing up your hormone flow. Your digestion system could be turned off. Your immune system could be turned off. Your reproductive organs could be turned off. And rational thinking could be turned off. If that's temporary for an hour or two to get you out of a bind, great. If that's day after day for the last 365 days, since as long as you can remember, no wonder we're having issues getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder we're having gut issues and dietary issues and
Mm-hmm.
nutritional issues. No
Yep.
wonder we're having immune system issues like we have over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep. For sure. For sure. It's so
It's really a
true.
big problem.
It is. No, it really is. And I mean, I love that this is a tool because my next question was just going to be to ask you how, because I love that you have this tool, that you've created this method for people to have this space for this. And so if for people who are listening and interested in, I mean, A, of course they can go to your website, but are like, how can people experience this?
Yeah. So two ways. The first is anybody with an iPhone or an Android can go to the App Store, search for In Harmony, one word, and you'll find our In Harmony Music Meditations app. It's $8 a month. It goes to maintaining the app and creating new music. You get a free 14-day full feature trial.
Nice.
We're constantly putting new music meditations in there. Take out your phone, put on a set of headphones, create some space for you to lay down for 22 minutes and push play on a music meditation and see how that does.
Hmm.
Everybody can do that right now. You're probably watching us on a device of some sort that's probably an iPhone or an Android. right? You can do that.
Yeah.
The next step from there is if you really want the upgrade is obviously we have furniture and equipment, and this is what we do. I manufacture that equipment. Now, if you don't want to make the investment or you can't, we do have financing options on our website, the InHarmony Locator. Just as you did before we got on
Hmm.
here, you found
I
we've got
did.
people all around the world, predominantly here in the United States, but
Yes.
chances are you can find a practitioner or a wellness center or a clinic or some place where somebody will share a session with you. And by the way, if you find us through this podcast on our website and you find that practitioner, tell them you found them through our website and they will give you a free demo.
Awesome. I love that. And yeah, I did go. So there's a lot of them. So y'all go look. There's probably one closer than you think. I found one that was close to us in San Antonio. I was like, oh my gosh, it's right up the road. So definitely check that out. And
Learn
I
more
think
every day.
yeah, yeah. And it's just exciting. And when you are you training people to like use the method? Like, is that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So look, the easy part is you don't need training to use our hardware, to use our
Hmm.
relaxation furniture. You need to understand how to push play on an app. It's no different than Spotify or YouTube, or if you got this podcast to play, you can absolutely operate our app. And that's the beauty of what we do. There is a certification process. If you want to be a practitioner and you want to get
Practitioner,
certified like I did in
yeah. Hmm.
Vibro-Acoustic Therapy, you
Right.
can do that. I host a weekly live where I talk about what's happening in the industry and the company and that sort of thing. We're launching a webinar series that we tried to launch last year, and we wound up rolling out some new products. So that'll launch at some point this year,
Awesome.
as well as a training course. I'm going to have a free ebook that's going to be coming out. We have 5 ebooks right now that focus on vibroacoustic therapy and 5 pillars: yoga and meditation, parenting, working out, business, and obviously massage therapy and body work.
Hmm.
So we've got a number of free resources. I'm going to be putting together a very inexpensive course not too long from now that'll further help people to get trained and educated on how to use our
Yeah.
technology, the hardware, and its potential on the body.
Awesome. So many good things coming. This is so good, Craig. Thank you so much. And all the links to that, y'all put in the show notes. The link to his website and has pretty much everything that you need there. So y'all go check that out. But thank you so much, Craig, for sharing this and for, I mean, just bringing this modality to us and giving us this new way of, I mean, I'm all about the tools for healing, and this is just such another great tool for that. So thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for giving me this voice and an opportunity to speak to your audience. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I'd love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I can know how to provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics you'd like to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's at TheHopePedraza, or you can visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.